Hello again and welcome to another edition of Southern Country. Hi, I'm Herb Suds, and welcome to the show, my friends. Well, this is sort of a special show. After the events on 9/11/01 inspired me to do a patriotic show for Suds and Country. And I didn't know where to go to do this patriotic show, but a little bit ago, I'd say a couple months ago, I found an article in the newspaper about this man standing next to me. His name is Richard Pierce. He's in Hunterdon County, New Jersey, and he has a collection of flags. And I thought this would be a perfect backdrop for a patriotic show. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Thank you, Herb. It's nice to be here.
Tell us something about the flags and tell us something about yourself and how you came about collecting a bazillion flags.
Well, I've been interested in flags and politics all my life, so it just seems like a natural affinity to me to want to collect flags. My wife and I collect other types of antiques. We've been doing that for years, and we enjoy it very much, and it's just a logical extension to add some flags. And I guess this collection is about 11 years old, although probably most of these flags have been purchased in the last 5 or 6 years. And I do have some rather historical, significant flags, which I will show you during the show, and to tell you a little bit about each of them. And also to kind of highlight some of the differences as time has gone on, how the flag has evolved around history.
That sounds good. And the flags most of the flags go back to how far back in the American history are we going to be going?
The earliest flag I have is from 1837. That's a 26-star, great star pattern, which we'll show you in the show today.
Well, let's not give too much away now. No. Well, Richard, I see a flag says Bull Run. Tell us about Bull Run.
Herb, this is a 35-star flag that dates to the Civil War. It is from the 71st New York Volunteer Infantry, and that outfit was formed at Staten Island at the beginning of the Civil War and mustered out in about 1865. It is, as I mentioned, a 35-star double medallion pattern with a star in each corner. It is a perfect pattern, and the colors are very vibrant. And you'll notice that on the flag there are 4 significant Civil War battles. When a regiment performed very well in a battle, the company was given authorization to inscribe the name of the battle on the flag. And in this case, you see 4 very famous battles: Bull Run, Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, and Gettysburg. So this particular outfit, which, by the way, was assigned to General Hooker outside of Washington, did participate in many battles in Virginia and Pennsylvania. Nowadays, it is illegal to inscribe anything on the face of the flag, so that when an infantry unit or a regiment performs in a particular battle, there will be battle streamers on the flag, on the hoist side of the flag, and not printed on the flag as you see here. Herb?
Let me ask you, how long ago was it outlawed not to write on a flag?
I believe the law came in about 1917, that it was no longer, you were no longer allowed to deface the flag. And we have several in the collection that I'll show you that have overprints on them.
Thank you very much, Richard. That's quite a flag. Goes back to the Civil War days. Richard, we're looking at 2 flags right now. What's the deal with the 2 flags?
Herb, these 2 flags date to around the time of the Centennial, 1876. The one on the bottom is a 13-star, handmade, hand-sewn flag made out of cotton with tiny stars individually sewn on in the form of a circle with what looks like a 3-star triangle in the center. The one on the top is a 38-star great star pattern. This particular flag is made out of silk. It's in absolutely beautiful condition. The colors are very vibrant. And if you look at the star, the pattern, you'll see that there's a great star on the outside, and inside is a tiny circle of looks like 6 stars with a large star in the center, and the flag also has 1 star in each corner of the canton. But you'll also notice on the left side 1 little star sticking out there, one outlying star it's called. And this flag and both flags date, as I said, to the time of the Centennial, 1876. And during that time there was a resurgence of patriotism, just like there was during the Gulf War, and of course recently with the tragic attacks at the World Trade Center and Pentagon. And during the Centennial, many flag makers began to go back to the earlier flag designs, like the Betsy Ross flag, and that's what you see noted in the lower flag, where you have the circle with a kind of a star in the middle. The one on the top is a kind of a new design for the period. A great star pattern started at around the early part of the 1800s and lasted for about 100 years or so. And there are a couple of others in the collection which I'll show you.
Well, Richard, we're looking at another 13-star flag here. What's the deal?
This is another Centennial Flag dating to 1876, but this flag has special meaning for a lot of reasons. First of all, it was the first flag in our collection. It's a 13-star flag. It has an 8-star wreath with a very large star in the center and a star in each corner. The field, or the canton, is very faded, very blue, as are the red stripes and the white stripes. This is also a handmade flag with the stars being appliqued on, sewn by hand. This was a gift from my wife Barbara for our 30th wedding anniversary in 1991, and Barbara is here to tell the story of it.
Herb, this flag is our sentimental favorite, I think. We were at an antiques show, and a dealer friend of ours had this flag for sale, and Richard loved it but passed it by. He didn't want to part with the money at the time, and I knew our 30th was approaching, so I went back, spoke to the dealer, had her set it aside for us. I picked it up later, and it was a big surprise for him. Aesthetically, it's a beautiful, beautiful flag, but little did we know, we thought it was going to be our one and only. But as you can see around you, it started something really big and wonderful.
How far and wide did you go to collect all the flags in your collection?
Most of these we have gotten from 2 dealers who specialize in flags. You really have to know yourself what you're buying, or you have to rely on the knowledge of others. And with Richard, it's been a mixture of both. But that particular one came from a New York dealer.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Barbara. Well, Richard, we're going to wrap up this show with a flag, but before we do that, I want to thank you, Barbara, for being on the show with us, and thank you for allowing us in your home.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we're glad to share it with you and your viewers.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Richard, we're wrapping up with a flag. Tell me about this.
Herb, this is a 45-star flag, dates from the late 1800s, and it is an overprint flag, and it's printed Memorial Day, 1899. What's interesting is Memorial Day, the concept of Memorial Day and how it was started. Following the Civil War, a pharmacist in New York State by the name of Henry Wells in Waterloo, New York, came up with an idea to honor those that had died in the Civil War. So he thought the townspeople, it would be a good idea if the townspeople would go to the local cemetery and lay flowers and wreaths on the graves of those who died during the war. The same idea was being done in other parts of the country as well. A few years later, in 1868, John Logan, who was the national commodore of the GAR, said it would be a good idea if May 30th be set aside each year to honor those that died in the Civil War. And in that year, he came up with, again, an idea to lay wreaths at the graves of soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. And this caught on throughout the country. And following World War I, the Memorial Day, which was originally known as Decoration Day, honored those Americans that were killed in every war, not just the Civil War. Finally, in 1971, Congress made Memorial Day a national holiday and decided that May 30th would be the day it would be celebrated each year.
How about that? I didn't know that. Thank you for a little history here. Appreciate that. All right, we're wrapping up, Richard.